going to start this section of our conversation off with I'm going to try to quote you, because in our pre-interview, Qween, you said something that has been brewing with me and in such a deep way. And we were speaking about the mother of them all, right? Mother Mary. And you said to me, she was raped. And I was like, huh, yeah. And then I thought about it, and I was like, well, yeah, she was raped, unless it was God. And then, oh, wait, even if it was God, she was raped. This unconsenting woman was raped. And I said, you're right. And then you said to me, and this is what I'm trying to quote, her life became everybody else's miracle. Just like that girl in Ohio who was raped by her father, and now her life is everybody else's miracle, and they're destined to take them away as well. And then I realized we worship the product of rape. This whole culture, it begins on the back of a little girl who was raped. So let's begin there with this Mary Magdalene figure that Qween Amor embodies.
First, I want people to understand that every civilization and our society, our values as a people, our culture is dictated and shaped by stories of divinity. And this is true back, in ancient Greece, when Zeus would rape women in random forms. Leda and the Swan.
Right.
Or Zeus would come down, came as a swan, and raped this woman.
Right.
And it's always,
which is some like next level motherfucking gaslighting, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's when so we need to understand that.
Yeah.
When we understand that, and then we look at our society and we understand that a child cannot consent.
Yeah, right.
When we know this and have laws against this, we have to re-navigate all of the stories that have been passed down that have made excuses for this to happen. If we know it's wrong today, then it certainly was not right 2,000 years ago. It was never
ever.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
And I don't care what anyone says. A 12-year-old girl ought not to have been forced or to even be manipulated into thinking that she should have to give birth, that she should have to do this thing.
Right.
It's
to nurture this child to only be taken away by the savages who will later worship.
So and do I think that it was God? No.
Yeah, right.
It's more likely that it was a Roman soldier that raped her in the middle of a violent occupation.
Right. But even still, isn't it interesting, and we were speaking about this, isn't it interesting The reason why I keep on saying that we were speaking about this is because this isn't my thought. This is the thought that you gave me.
Yeah.
That 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 even our Godhead is designed to absolve a man of his sins, right?
And
Like,
this is
like normalizing and gaslight, like talk about again, talk about some gaslighting motherfucking shit, right? Like it's not totally terrible that I'm raping you because, like, consider that God did that.
yeah.
God was a rapist. So, like, it's okay that I'm a rapist. What a fucked up way of, like, going back in time and like, absolving the need for you to even apologize for your actions.
And so this is where this is so. Remember, I said that our culture and our society is shaped by
Right.
stories of divinity.
Correct.
When we tell these stories without actually acknowledging the trauma and the violence behind them, what we do is we subconsciously normalize certain
Co-sign it.
and we co-sign it.
Right.
And we this is where rape culture begins. This is where misogyny was birthed.
Yeah.
And because of this narrative, and because it is so deeply entrenched in the social consciousness of our world, and because civilizations and peoples were genocided for even suggesting that this is wrong, the violence that was perpetuated to protect and legitimize this narrative is what has brought us to where we are today. And until we truly reconcile with this broken morality that has been instilled by the most violent and morally corrupt institution that has ever crawled out of the mind of mankind.
You're talking about Catholicism.
I'm talking about the religious institution as a whole.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Because empire is founded on this. It's founded on this. This is where empire holds its roots.
Yeah, I always called it like it was throwing to authority, right? Like, I don't know the answer, but let's see what God says, and then there's the answer, right?
And that seems men are God.
Well, but even still, like that like tossed to authority that couldn't be questioned in any real way, that felt weak to me. But through our conversation, and what's very enlightening to me is that I'm starting to see that it's more than just going to authority. It's absolving them from their own wrongdoings before they're even done. It's training young boys that are in earnest just trying to learn their family's religion, right? From the genesis of their culture, the foundation of their understanding of the way things work in their ideal. It's rape. It's subservience.
And we're taught that we overlook the burden that it places on women. Because women are taught that we are intrinsically designed by God to bear the burden of pain.
Right.
And that we must do so in silence, and we must be subservient and obedient. And any woman that is to step out of line and to question authority will be burnt at the stake, will be vilified, demonized, ostracized, and
It's constant reminders that our bodies are not ours
exactly. And
in
from
every way.
And from Mother Mary's story, if you are to consider that it was not an immaculate conception at all, in fact, the conception was traumatic violence and sexual violence, that her body was never hers, and her autonomy did not exist. And when we make it okay for a figure of divinity, if it is okay, and if we can rationalize that the Mother of God should endure this pain in silence, and so should the rest of you.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And whether you want to, when people don't, if people took a moment to really think about it, and to really place themselves in her shoes, you would not have so much blind faith in this institution. Now, I believe in God. I believe in Mother Mary. I believe in her suffering. I believe in Mary Magdalene. I believe in Christ. I believe in the man that walked this earth named Jesus. I believe in his family, and I believe in the humanity that they shared. I do not, and I will never, ever believe in the perversion that the institution has created to legitimize their evil, their shortcomings, to legitimize their claim to power. And if you really think about it, the Roman Jesus fought for the liberation of his people against Roman occupation of first century Palestine.
And here we are again.
And it's a cycle. It's a cycle.
Yeah,
and,
it feels like a cycle that has never really stopped.
And here's the kicker. The history is written by the victors. And the really ugly truth of it all is that the oppressors won.
Yeah, right.
Right.
We're reading a monster's history over and over and over again,
and protecting them and
defending it and
holding their shame. We are the bearers of shame, of their shame. It's their shame. It ain't our shame. But suddenly we become the ones to hold the weight of it. They don't
have shame towards it because they used it as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it funny that the Romans who occupied this country, this land, who murdered this man, also turned this man into their symbol of divinity, which then they would, for the next 2,000 years, colonize every other land that they came across as an extension of the Roman Empire. And this colonial idea of being able to perpetuate their belief system and wipe out any opposition towards it. Isn't it funny that they're the ones who are making the rules? And isn't it funny that sin is only attributed to the individual person. But there's no sin in pedophiles in the church. There's no sin in men raping women. When you think of sin, you're not thinking of pedophiles. You're not thinking of colonialists genociding entire civilizations. You're not thinking of the enslavement of Black people. You're not thinking of all of these evil things that have occurred, and how God was used to justify these acts of evil, and how the church has removed itself from any sort of accountability by focusing in on the sins of individual people.
Right.
Which ultimately sex is not a sin. Questioning your institution is not a sin. Questioning your literature, not a sin.
Questioning your parents, not a sin.
This is like reminding. Have you ever seen this movie or read the book The World According to Garp?
Isn't that
Robin Williams?
It sounds familiar.
It's a very good movie, and some people don't like it. I don't think I don't think Mallory liked it very much. But
No, it's fine.
there was the mother writes a book, and it's called God.
I can't remember.
I had it, and then it slipped my mind. But anyway, it's basically like from the beginning of a woman's life, their body isn't theirs. You know what I mean? And she was a really audacious woman. Like, she got pregnant by like sleeping with a soldier who was about to die, that she was a nurse from, because she wanted to be a mother, and
the publication was called A Sexual Suspect.
Sexual suspect. A sexual. I'm glad you got that for me. Thank you so much, Chris. Because they're a sexual suspect, right? And how, like being born a woman, you are immediately a sexual suspect. You are suspected of being sexual, or you are expected to be sexual, right? And this is your power and your weakness. Anyway, that was the gist of this thing, and I guess where I think that will lead me is to another. I think when I first discovered you, you were quite vocal and in your social media about like sex work, and you were using a lot of this religious imagery in your activism on behalf of sex work. So I want to hear, as we're dealing with the Mother Mary and we're talking about her sexual suspicions, maybe if you can
right there,
please. So, yes, go. Please. I was running myself dry.
So when I talk about the Mother Mary, I'm talking about Jesus's mother.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mary Magdalene is not Mother Mary.
I'm sorry, Mary Magdalene. I'm sorry.
These are two different.
Yes, I know.
Entities when it comes to God being represented as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about sacrifice, and the sacrifice that lies within being a nurse, the sacrifice in being a sex worker, the sacrifice in even being the mother of God, or the girlfriend of God, even. And I understand that your work that has taken on all of these little pieces that we have spoken about. Now, this body of work, there's a great sacrifice I understand about doing this work, like physical sacrifice.
So, for me,
Yeah.
to do what I do, I have to sacrifice safety. To become a woman, in the most basic sense, to transition from being a man
Yeah.
and having an ultimate sense of safety in the world,
Uh-huh.
and then transition into being a woman and recognize that safety was a privilege that is not bestowed upon women.
Uh-huh.
But also understanding that I believe in my work. I believe in what I do. And even when I think of sacrifice to, and I'm going to be very honest here, that I recognize that anytime that I go out and I dance in the street, or I dance on top of a cop car, and I make myself so radically visible and vocal,
Yeah.
that I could end up with a bullet in my skull. That I could.
Hold on, wait. I don't want to rush past this. I want to really slow down here, particularly because of the moment in time that we are in. And to be honest with you, Queen, you are putting yourself out there in a very vulnerable way. You are making that sacrifice, and we're going to get into that more. But I want to frame this conversation, in this moment that we're in, and how you are the Antichrist. I mean, you are, and babe, with reference from me, but we ain't all me. And while we're sitting here talking about it, I want to make it clear that it is not lost on me, at least, that you are exactly what all of these talking heads are saying is destroying the world right now.
I am the antithesis.
You are
the monster in the closet for them.
Mm-hmm.
There is
I am the fucking the scariest thing that they can imagine.
Yeah.
I am Revelations come to life.
Yes.
And they as far as I'm concerned, I practice nonviolence in a lot of my life, in a lot of the ways that I move through the world.
Okay.
And it's funny that the people that claim to be so Christian and claim to have such reverence for God and, these Christian nationalists are the most violent people in the world.
Yeah.
And to say that I, when I go out in the world and do what I do, understanding the kind of world that we live in, to say that I'm sacrificing my life is an understatement.
I know. I understand that. And here it is again. I want to harken back, and I want to take on. I want to take on this finger that I was pointing out. I want to start pointing at me a little bit here, because I also realize that this freedom that I revel in, right? And it's done with the sacrifice of what you're doing. I'm not out there changing the world. You know what I mean? I'm not there fighting the power in the way that you are. My life doesn't depend on it in the same way that yours does. So like in holy reverence, I want to make it clear that like I as well am allowing a woman to do the heavy lifting for me, to prepare the fish and bread while I pretend it's a miracle, you know? and you know,
no way Jesus performed those miracles and doing the work behind it.
Right. And you know, that was something that you said in our conversation. I have to quote you again, Qween, because another like just wonderfully profound thing that you said to me when we were talking about, because going into this interview,
I am willing to die to humanize God.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
In fact, that is the purpose of my life. In fact, and
wait. Let's just give that space, because that's it hit me on a lot of levels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to humanize God. We already did in Jesus, right? Like there is the human God.
Until we turn him into a mythical being that could never, ever, no human can ever attain that level, because it doesn't exist.
Right.
It's not real.
Right. And anyway, my point is, and what I want to set up here is how you are out there. And now, okay, this is a good place to start. I want you to like explain one of your pieces. We could show a video, but I want you to explain like what it is that you go out there and do, what it is that I'm a fan of that you go out there and do on top of cop cars. I understand that we're going to get a little sense of one of your performances a little later on, but explain what it is that you do out there.
So as a trans woman, I personify Mary Magdalene.
Yes.
And I carry her name, and I also carry a cross, the crucifix. And in doing so, I take the two most prominent figures in Christianity, aside from Mother Mary.
Leave that bitch at home.
You know, Mama, we don't need to right now.
Stay at home, Mom. We're doing some hood shit.
And I understand that the world cannot really truly attain peace until woman is seen as a facet of Godhead. And it's the only way to really do that is to use the stories that people are already familiar with.
I'm so glad that I asked you to set this up.
Ingrained in our culture. Whether you know about it or not, you know of Mary Magdalene the whore.
Yeah.
And in fact, it is so riddled in pop culture.
Yeah.
And I picked up on that very early in my self-discovery.
Wait. Can I just? I don't mean to throw you off this, but like I just noticed this today. Like when you look at it, in like all of these very significant things in our culture, all of these pieces of art and all of these pieces of religion, therein lies, I mean, all of these things were written by creatives, right? Like at the very, very base, it was creatives, and it was probably creatives that were oppressed in some way, right? That were outsiders like us. And you'll notice that they always hide in plain sight. They always hide these figures that are like calling out to the next generation, like, you ain't alone. We're all whores. We are all whores.
There's a reason gay men idolize women in pop culture.
Oh, wait. Unpack that.
And
no. Put it back on Qween. I want to hear what Qween has to say. Please answer riddle me this.
Because
why do gay men idolize women?
Because intrinsically, it is gay men's birthright to embody femininity in a way that heterosexual straight men have not been able to do. Unfortunately, gay men have fallen into the assimilation that patriarchy has prescribed, because if you assimilate, then you will be safe and you will not have to endure the hardships that come with being visibly feminine. So, to be a gay man, there's to idolize these women who can hold this space that you want, that you vibe with, that you relate to, you identify with. And for gay men, for men to identify with women in any aspect.
This is so fucking interesting, because
let me tell you something.
Yeah, please.
That I can take any song or a good chunk of them and make it about Mary Magdalene and Jesus.
Yeah.
That you can take, because music tells a story. And the beautiful thing about music and the beautiful thing about art is that it's a language of human emotion. That it is the human spirit made manifest so that we can experience it outside of ourselves.
Yes.
And this missing part of our humanity is being vocalized and expressed through these famous women who have come up out of the ether. Right. And for the first time in human history, women have space to express who they are. And for it to be revered and idolized by men is phenomenal and
and so here's, I was just reading this article in Interview Magazine with this interview with Hari Neff, and the interviewer who is this author. I just actually read. I can't remember her name. Anyway, she was saying that like every. I can't remember the quote, but essentially that everybody wants to like live the way that the eccentric way that they see these the embodied in.
I have the quote.
Oh, please do. I think wonderful.
The need that a lot of people have to see each other through a highly charismatic transsexual.
That rang so true to me. And
can you imagine God being trans?
I can. I do. I pray to her every night. The Omniarch above. Oh.
And all it takes is one bold soul to believe that she can be the one.
Here we are.
Chris, take me out of this.
Yeah. And I picked up on it very early when, because for me, music, it felt like it was early in my awakening. It felt like angels were talking to me. It felt like
Do you believe in angels?
I believe in people as angels.
Oh, so like, but when you say angels, you
Like,
mean like protective entities, like people there to
no,
help you? And
I feel like it's a calling, and that there are angels or beings on Earth calling for a soul to manifest this thing, to embody this missing aspect of our humanity, to exemplify it.
did you have a mentor?
Not really. Well, I mean, my idols were, I mean, my first hero was Buffy.
That's a good first hero.
Hell yeah! Slay, bitch!
Slay.
Slay!
Slay!
Slay!